Hi, good day everyone. Welcome back to day 2 Artificial Intelligence Conversations. This 30-minute chunk is your time to understand AI and understand how you can leverage artificial intelligence for your business growth. The format 10 minutes, I give you a high level understanding on different topics within artificial intelligence, and then I can open up the floor if there are people participating on the live and have burning questions. I have stopped taking questions on WhatsApp, right? I want to, because here's what's happening. There are multiple people asking the same questions. So I might as well just do it here and you all can ask your question and everybody benefits from it. Okay, thumbs up to that. Cool. So yesterday we looked at the big 5 under the broader umbrella of artificial intelligence. Today let's start zooming in, right? The first one is machine learning. So what is machine learning and why did we think about machine learning? The entire conversation around artificial intelligence started with our desire to induce and or integrate intelligence in machines. The idea was to be able to automate as much as possible so that we as humans can take a step back and enjoy finer experiences of life, right? That was the driver. That is where the entire field started out. So what does an intelligent machine look like? Think about your refrigerator, for instance. Now, if you have a refrigerator, which all of us do, and you stock it up with 6 eggs always, okay? You have 2 liters of milk always. You have you have bread in there, at least one entire loaf of bread always, right? So the moment the quantity drops below that optimum level that you always have stored in your refrigerator, the system would automatically pick that up for you and then send a note out to the supermarket and make the purchase on your behalf. The supermarket would talk to the bank authorized by your refrigerator to do this on your behalf, make the payment. Once the payment is made, the grocers come, deliver it, open your house, stock your fridge, and away they go. Okay, and or leave it at your doorstep, one of the two, whichever option you've opted for. The point is, your refrigerator is intelligent enough to know your preferences. It now knows you always like to stock at least 6 eggs, 2 liters of milk, and a loaf of bread. If the quantity falls below that for any or all of the 3, go out and purchase on your behalf so that when you come back home, you have amenities and or food or whatever it is that you need in there, right? So that's a level of intelligence. The other level of intelligence is where in the industrial sector, where you're talking about let's take manufacturing industry, and that is where this actually started. It started with the robotic hands, the robotic arms that you see in the manufacturing industry, which are used to fill bottles, to whatever needs to be done, whatever was done manually in the manufacturing industry was automated using these robotic arms. Now these robotic arms could fill liquids into bottles. They could, if the bottle is overflowing, cap it off, lid it, right? Have bottle caps and lid the cap on. And now we can do a lot of other things with these robotic arms. But that is where the journey started. Hang on. If we automate all our business processes and we automate different components of our business, does that not mean that we are losing jobs? And as a business owner, how do I live with that dilemma of Rose? The answer is very simple. You don't lose jobs. The skills you need shift. That's all that happens. And there's proof. Manufacturing industry was the very first industry to integrate machine learning autonomous processes, leveraging the robotic arm into their vertical, right? And between 1960 and today, if you look back over the years, manufacturing industry has actually ended up hiring more people than firing people. Except the skills are different. You will need to upskill your staff. So there will be that initial investment, because now how these robotic arms don't work by themselves. They need to be maintained, they need to be serviced, they need to be programmed, they need to be monitored as well, right? So there is that human element. But now instead of one person pouring the liquid into the bottle, another person capping the bottle, 2 individuals have been replaced by 5. I just told you the 5 roles that are required in this process, right? So instead of hiring 2 people, you end up hiring 5. But now the skills that they need to bring to the table are going to be very different from just the manual labor, right? So you're moving in the food chain. You're actually moving up, which is where humans belong. Okay, so instead of just doing manual labor, you are now using your gray matter. You're bringing that to the table, to the equation, and you're serving using that. Okay, so it's really important that as business owners, you understand that any component of artificial intelligence is not going to lead to job loss. If anything, it leads to more opportunities in the marketplace. All right. Now going back to machine learning. So how did people think about, come up with the algorithms, and or how did we train machines to think and learn? They don't think, they learn. Right now they can learn. Okay. They cannot think for themselves yet. They haven't evolved to that level. So how do they learn? So we took a step back and we asked ourselves, how do humans learn? Humans learn in 2 different ways, supervised and unsupervised. What is supervised learning? So go back to your kindergarten days. When you went to kindergarten, there was someone at the kindergarten who told you what an apple looks like, and or a ball, and demonstrated this was a ball, and then you learned this was a ball, right? So that's supervised learning. When someone is teaching you what a particular object is, and then you retain it in your synaptic connections. That's one way of learning. The other way of learning is when you give a child different objects and leave the child with it to figure it out on his or her own. Generally, children would either sort items by shapes or by colors. Okay, now I don't have no, I don't have two. Oh, actually I do. So see, these are 2 similar colors, but they're not. So if I were a kid back in kindergarten and someone gave me these 3 items, the way I would group it, one way of grouping it would be looking at the color and grouping it together. The other way of grouping it would be 3 groups of 1 item each, right? So that is what unsupervised learning is about. It's about your ability to look. It's about the ability to look at patterns in the data, and this is what your data is, right? Looking at that and being able to identify meaningful patterns, which will help your business, right? So this all comes back to your business. So a machine that can look at data and project and or help you identify what kind of campaigns to run, which demographic does your product appeal to most, which particular demographic does your product not engage with, right? All kinds of questions can be answered by unsupervised machine learning. Now, are they the only two ways of learning? There can be a hybrid between the two, right? That's the third. But in a sense, the idea of machine learning has always been to assist businesses leverage hidden aspects of your business, which is hidden in your data, right? And the machine has the ability to look at huge chunks of data at a glance, which is something that humans don't have, not necessarily, okay? Unless you're very good with numbers and you can scan all numbers and retain all numbers in your head. Like, and when I'm talking about retain numbers, I'm talking about like thousands, hundreds of thousands worth of rows of data. And in terms of columns, again, you're going into hundreds of thousands of columns. It's just humanly not known. It's not a skill that is common, right? I'm sure there are a few humans, but they're the outliers, they're the exceptions. So machines do that really well, right? And that's why your business needs to leverage some form of intelligence to be able to identify where that hidden opportunity in your business is, and that is where machine learning is stepping in and assisting businesses. Alrighty, on that note, I am going to wrap up today's session. We will continue these conversations again onwards. I'm really hoping at some point, all of you all who keep WhatsApping me with your questions are going to start showing up here, because I'm not going to entertain your WhatsApp questions. Ain't happening. Ain't. Absolutely not. All right. I've put my foot down. Here's why, right? Because most of you are asking similar questions. If they are very personalized, like one-on-one related to your business, that makes sense. But if they're very generic, let's have those conversations here, and that way everybody benefits, right? So on that note, I'm going to wrap up today's session. Come back tomorrow 12:30 for the artificial intelligence conversations. 12 noon we have mindset strategies. Come join us for that as well. I look forward to seeing you. Have a great day ahead, and I will catch you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Ta.